Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through my experience with anxiety and depression as a law student. And I have to say that me saying that I was depressed or anxious does not mean that I was clinically diagnosed with either anxiety or depression. First year, I learned that I was in the Dean's Merit List, right? I had no idea what Dean's Merit List meant. So what they were. So second year, I learned that I was in the Dean's Merit List in my second year of study when they told us. And yeah, I was in the middle of second year, struggling in second year. And that created the insecurity. It created an insecurity that now at home they know, or people around me know me as an A student. Now I am struggling, and next year I won't be in this list. So what are they going to think? So fine, I was not even anticipating being in the Dean's Merit List in my second year because it was tough. By the end of second year, after we get our final results, I learned that I was in the Dean's. I made the reappearance in the Dean's Merit List, and this time I outperformed first year. So now when I go into third year, it is no longer just what my family or people around me are gonna think if I don't make the reappearance, but rather it would be a disappointment on my side. So in my own perspective, so I've been in the Dean's Merit List first year, second year, and if I don't make that reappearance in third year, it's gonna take a toll on me. So our third year was very challenging. If I said second year was challenging, third year, I don't even have a word to describe third year. Third year was traumatic. And on top of just the difficulties of third year as an academic year, I am going through my own personal issues. And then I have someone in my life who is going through something. So I avail myself for that person. So this person, whatever they're going through, I made myself available for them. If they had anything they didn't have anyone else to vent to. So I made myself available. So they would pour their pain to me. And I took it in. So it was this person's pain. It was my pain. And my pain, I did not share it with anyone. So it was fully served on me, and not a single piece was going to anyone. So to a point where I was drowning. And I think you probably saw that in the title of this video, I say that I talk about introversion and extroversion. So part of the personal issues that I was dealing with at the time had to do with my personality. I was going through an identity crisis. I'm an introvert, but the type of an introvert, or rather, in addition to me just being an introvert, I'm also very shy and I am very reserved. I'm overly conscious of myself and I overthink. So now I'm faced with the dilemma of becoming a successful lawyer or law student or whatever, and the reality that is I'm this person who's very reserved, and you know, I would really, if I had it my way, I wouldn't have to interact with people. So now, you probably know that if you're going to be a lawyer, you need a network, right? And it is advisable to start networking in your years of study. So you need to be speaking to people, and yeah, not only your classmates, but other people from different fields, because that interaction, those networks, those connections will come in handy when you are when you are in practice. So you can't really carry this whole career on your own. So I find myself battling with myself, literally trying every day, trying to step out of myself and become that which I want to become. And I know that a lot of people would say that, but is it really necessary for you to, in a way, try to fit in? I mean, if you're not going to make compromises to fit in, then you shouldn't even be there. I mean, if you're going to be a lawyer, we're not saying that be someone you're not. But at the end of the day, if you don't like speaking to people, if you can't interact with people, how are you going to interact with your clients? How are you going to outsource your work? How are you going to get clients? How is the whole process going to work for you? So I understood that it was better for me to start now than in law school, to challenge myself to interact with people, than starting to do that in practice, because I just felt like that would be a little bit too late. What happened was me now trying to build all those networks, just speaking to people and learning to interact with people at my big age, was that an inch of myself was dying all the time. So what happens when you're an overthinker and a person who's very overly conscious is that you'll have a conversation with someone and you'll play the conversation in your head as you are walking back to your place. With me, I would run the conversation for months. There is this one particular incident where I ran the conversation for almost the whole year and I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't stop. And now it's no longer just it's no longer the voices emanating from this one context, because almost every day I am trying to, challenge myself to speak to people and whatever. So with every interaction is a voice in my head, to a point where I lost my own voice, couldn't hear my own voice because there's so many voices in my head. Just this one is saying, I mean, you were so loud. The other one is like, you were too quiet, or you shouldn't have said that. Why were you stuttering? A lot. Like I said, third year was difficult, né? But now dealing with the pain and all the things that I was dealing with personally and relationally, my academics started to suffer even more, to a point where I was emotionally paralyzed. I was emotionally paralyzed in my third year, couldn't get out of bed. The only time when I was out of bed is if I had to make food or had to bath. I stopped attending classes. Classes were online, but normally I would attend classes even if they recorded lectures, and then I'll always go back and listen to the lectures if I needed clarity. But then I couldn't do anything. I was confined to my bed to a point where I had to ask for help. I approached our psychologist. I don't know if they call them a psychologist or a counselor, or I don't know, but yeah, a psychologist. I approached those services on campus, and when I tell you, they were fully booked for 6 weeks. There were no slots for the next 6 weeks. And I explained to this lady that I wouldn't survive 6 weeks. If I had to wait for 6 weeks, I might as well just pack my bags and leave, and then I'll just come back the following year, because my academics at a minimum were not going to survive for that long. So that lady, arranged for me to meet online. I attended therapy for 6 weeks. Yeah, so on the last session, that's when she was available, and I was able to meet with the therapist in person for the first time. I feel like 6 weeks was not enough, but it helped me to survive. Hence, I was able to complete my year successfully. I don't think I would have survived third year had it been Hore I didn't go for therapy. But 6 weeks is not enough. It's not enough. And hence we were only able to just really paved a way for me to complete my year successfully. I think it was more focused on the academics than it was on my personal issues and relational issues. Of course, we did touch base the relational issues and personal issues because they did contribute to my inability to continue academically. So yeah, I would say that those services are provided. If they are provided for you for free, please just do participate. It shook me. I was shocked to learn that so many people were in therapy, to a point where I had to wait. I mean, the therapist was fully booked for 6 weeks. She was fully booked. So people are going through a lot out there. And yeah, we just really need to look out for each other and to check in on each other. And yeah, and also just understand that you will still be a successful lawyer as an introvert, but the type of an introvert that I was not gonna make it in practice, because I was not gonna be able to even interacting with recruiters, for example. It was not a possibility for me. I used to avoid human interactions, like just the thought of sitting down and speaking to someone. It was too much for me. But every day, it's still a challenge for me. Every day, it's an everyday journey. So I really try to let people in. I try to socialize. I try to socialize. And yeah, we are improving every day. Yeah, that's all I can say. And yeah, there are introverts though, that in as much as they are introverts, they are able to connect with people when they have to connect with people. So the reason why I had a personality crisis was that I couldn't interact when I had to interact. And I didn't want that for myself. I don't want to live in a world where I can't interact with people. I want to socialize. I want to be among people. I'm human, Ibo. That's why when normally people would when people are like asking to to just like go out with you or whatever, I would always say no, because the reason is, if I would sit down and try to play the conversation that you and I are going to have from the minute we meet up until I leave. And if I can't play that in my head, if I don't know what you and I are going to talk about from the minute we meet up until I leave, then I'm not coming. And I know that it's not possible for you to have that memorized or clear in your head up until you go into that setting. In as much as I know that, the fact that I can't play that conversation in my head is reason enough for me to not show up, because what are you and I going to talk about? So I'll save myself the trip and save myself 3 months of just running that conversation in my head, thinking that I shouldn't have said that, I was too loud, or I was too quiet, or I was weird, or I was awkward. Hey, guys, it's a struggle. But at the end of the day, we're a survivor, and yeah, we move. That's it from me, guys. Until the next video, I love you. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and to like this video and to share with your beloved friends.